sake! What started out as a joke has turned out to be a disaster.
The Creed appears to be in very serious condition.
The man alive.
If he dies, he dies.
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes, and right here on the channel, my good friend Fatal J has been visiting me, and he's antagonizing me over and over, talking crap on The Rock, who is, without a shadow of a doubt, the most electrifying man in sports and entertainment today. He has been for essentially over a decade now. The man is bulletproof at the box office. He's a bona fide action phenomenon. He's one of the few actors in cinema today that can bring an audience based off his name alone. And I am going to give you 5 reasons, definitive proof that The Rock is the greatest action star in movies today. And obviously, here with me to discuss this is the man that, after the verbal beatdown that I gave him on the Snyder DCEU debate that we had on the channel, I'm surprised he came back for more, but apparently he loves having the smack it laid down on his candy ass. BJ, how you doing?
I'm doing good. And people, always remember out there, if you have to remind yourself and tell somebody you beat them, you really lost.
I do want to say this. Last time, a bunch of your little fatal heads came over from your channel, and they showed up in my comments, and they proved that they were a bunch of jabrones. Bring it back, baby. I want to see your comments. Whatever. If you want to be a jabroni in my comments and prove that you know nothing about The Rock or the Snyder Cut or anything about movies, go right ahead. You're only making yourself look like a fool alongside your good friend Fatal J. Whatever. So I do want to say this before we get into it. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoy these debates. We want to do more. Give us a thumbs down if you don't. Either way, we want to know your thoughts in the comments section. Do you think The Rock is the biggest action star in the world? Do you think Fatal J is an idiot? Because I think he might be.
I could be. You never know.
We'll see how this goes. Maybe he'll lay the smackdown on my candy ass. It could happen. All right, so here is proof number 1.
Proof number 1.
And for example, like in Arnold, Arnold, I got to tell you, was like Arnold and Stallone and Bruce Willis. At one time, those guys were the biggest movie stars in the world on the planet. Yep. And when I got to Hollywood, every single one of them were always so supportive and so welcoming. It's like, brother, you know what I mean? Oh, welcome, brother. I mean, it was very cool when it could have been the opposite way, you know, when you get a young buck coming in and trying to make movies too. They could have done everything they could, you know, to kind of, make it difficult. But no, those guys were great. Yeah,
Jay, we know that in the rundown, and I would have played that clip if there wasn't a song in the background and I wouldn't have gotten a copyright strike. But Arnold goes by The Rock's character and he says, good luck in there, or said something like that. And it was basically him giving him his blessing and acknowledging that The Rock was the future of action in movies. If The Rock can acknowledge, or Arnold Schwarzenegger, the second greatest action star in cinematic history, can acknowledge the greatness of The Rock, the potential of The Rock, and acknowledge him that as the great action star of the modern times, why can't you?
Hold on. Did you say the second greatest? Arnold was the second greatest?
John Wayne, baby, the Duke.
What?
Just saying. If you look at the box office receipts, John Wayne is probably the highest grossing actor in movie history.
I don't give a freak. And I'm a John Wayne fan. I love True Grit. But this is the thing right here. Arnold Schwarzenegger was being nice. He gave his blessing to Danny DeVito. Do that mean Danny DeVito is the greatest action star known to man? They wasn't twins together, sir. A blessing doesn't mean anything. Arnold Schwarzenegger, let me tell you something about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He will be lucky if he can hold Arnold Schwarzenegger's jockstrap, sir. He's not touching Arnold in movies. Arnold came out with the dopest movies known to man. Arnold Schwarzenegger, every time he made a movie, he made franchises. The Predator, Terminator, Total Recall. Shall I keep going, sir?
Last Action Hero.
That was a playful movie, and it still came out classic. The Rock come out with a classic, playful movies like The Tooth Fairy. People forget about it. The freaking Tooth Fairy. The freaking Tooth Fairy, sir.
We're not even on that. I'm just saying, Arnold gave him his blessing. He acknowledged that The Rock was the man.
Arnold,
you refused to do it, Fatal J.
Arnold Schwarzenegger spoof movies are classics in themselves. I'm glad you brought up The Last Action Hero.
Well, yeah, he's got a bunch of other franchises that didn't quite take off. What was the one for 20 or the year 2000 where he was fighting Satan?
It's bound to happen, sir. He's been in the game for 1,000,000 years. Wow. It's bound to happen. The Rock started off bad.
We all remember, what was it? Hercules Goes Bananas?
Sir, The Rock started off bad. The Mummy.
Mummy 2 was great.
That CGI was bad.
That wasn't his fault. That was nothing to do with his performance, sir.
He didn't even have a freaking performance. He was a CGI head on a scorpion's body.
That was a scintillating role. They got a spinoff.
Okay, let's talk about that. As we're going to talk about that, we're going to go to the next slide.
The second piece of evidence, and you kind of brought it up, the versatility of the actor, sir. He's not just an action star. He's a bona fide phenomenon, no matter what he does.
Years old.
That is me at 15.
And you can just see action star. Now, let's contrast that. This is me at 22.
I don't know if you see action star.
You don't see action star?
No, you see bi-curious.
Now, listen, I was, and I'll be honest with you, Dwayne, I still am.
The Rock, not only is he a great action star, but like Schwarzenegger, he's got the comedic timing. He's been able to do the Tooth Fairy, the Journey series, the Game Plan, Moana, the other guys. He's had some really good cameos in Reno 911. He was in Be Cool, where he was he was making music up, and I think he was a gay hitman or something. The dude can do it all. He's got talent, Fatal J.
Now, this is the funniest thing about the thing you just mentioned. All those movies that you just mentioned, other people was the star and he was the co-star, sir.
He's a versatile actor. He can fit into an ensemble cast.
Man, look here. That still doesn't make him the greatest action star of all time.
We haven't got to the main points.
Well, look at Stallone. Look at Arnold. These guys have created movies where you lose yourself into the movies. You really believe that you're in this world. When it comes to Dwayne Johnson, it's just a cheap thrill. It's a guilty pleasure.
He was the headliner for Moana. They made $800 million.
What was the name of the movie called, sir? Name the movie. What's the movie called?
Moana.
Exactly. What was the character name that the Rock played?
In the movie?
What was the Rock character name in the movie, sir?
Moana.
Oh, I thought that was the girl.
I thought it was him.
No, it's the girl name is Moana.
It should have been named after his character. He was
exactly. Check, turn him up. Get ready. Like I said, you didn't even remember the character name that the Rock played.
I only saw it once. My boy doesn't like Moana yet.
I only saw it none. That's how many times I saw it.
I think I'm right.
No, you're not. The Mayona, whatever her name is, that's the little girl. Then she meets the Rock.
See. If I'm wrong, everyone's going to crucify me.
And they go crucify you regardless.
In the comment section. I welcome it.
That's what happens when you
over from the Fatal J show.
See, this is the thing, people in the comments and watching. He got notes. Fatal doesn't. I does this. I'm the real Rock. I'm the real electrifying guy right now. Keep going,
sir. You are the least electrifying man in YouTube. I don't even know why I have you on the channel. Jeez.
You don't want to look up Mayona or whatever her name is. Mayona or whatever. Look it up.
Number three.
4 times feels right to me because I've actually been in a lot of sequels and I have added some extra oomph to franchises like The Mummy, Journey to the Center of the Earth, G.I. Joe, and of course, The Fast and Furious. And some folks in the industry have even referred to me as franchise Viagra.
The dude, if your franchise is stale, the sales are going down, the interest is going down, you bring in The Rock, and boom, you're at the top of the box office. Look what he did for The Mummy. Look what he did for G.I. Joe. Jumanji, the Fast franchise. The dude breaks in the dough. $4.2 billion since The Rock arrived on the Fast franchise. He saved it from Vin Diesel.
Can I ask you a question, sir?
Yes.
The first Mummy, did it have The Rock in it?
Franchise Viagra. He reinvigorated the series.
The first Mummy did great without The Rock. What do you mean?
And it did better with him.
Okay, next question. Fast and Furious, the first movie to the fourth movie. Was he in that movie?
No.
Exactly. What was the other
fourth
movie?
One made $300
G.I.
million.
Joe.
The last two made over $1 billion.
G.I. Joe, sir. Was he in the first one?
No.
Exactly. The Rock is an add-on. Yeah, he does probably bring more money to it, but he does not start franchises, sir. So all that franchise Viagra stuff.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something.
Viagra, he gets it back where it needs to be, so you can perform at the box office, buddy.
It doesn't mean he's a franchise starter like Arnold Schwarzenegger and The Rock. Stallone. Stallone, he got 250 Rockies right now. That's a franchise starter. Look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. He started the Predator franchise. He started the Terminator franchise. The Rock does not start franchises. I could put Arnold Schwarzenegger in a movie and then put Denzel in the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and of course it'll go up in sales because people want to see that person in there. But that does not mean he's a franchise starter or start franchises. The Rock sucks, but I love him.
This is not the who's the greatest franchise starter in movies today, sir. This is who's the greatest action star. And if you have an action franchise that's growing stale, you throw The Rock in it and you double your box office receipt.
If you have
because
the franchise that's going stale,
franchise Viagra.
If you got a franchise going stale, you can add Tom Cruise. You can add Henry Cavill.
Really? Did you see the Mummy reboot? What'd you think about that one?
It sucked. But let me tell you something, though. Let me tell you something. This is what Tom Cruise has over The Rock. He starts franchises, sir. How many Top Guns? We supposed to have another Top Gun movie. We about to have another Mission Impossible movie.
What's the last franchise Tom Cruise started? Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible, sir. What's the last?
Yeah, that was in 1995.
Let me ask you something, Wes. What was the franchise that The Rock started? And
he's
I'll
not
wait.
The franchise guy. He's franchise Viagra. Otherwise, he does his own shit. That's why he's awesome.
If that's the case, anybody can be a franchise Viagra. If that's the case.
No, you have to be able to come in and reinvigorate a franchise and make more money with you.
The Rock needs other people to be successful.
That's ridiculous. Patently absurd. But there is another. I got more evidence, sir.
All right, let's keep going.
So it's about my best friend. I rescued my best friend, who's a rare albino gorilla named George. When he was a baby, his parents were killed by poachers. There's real science behind this called CRISPR science, which many of you know, and it goes wrong because it gets into bad hands, and he starts to metabolize. Things start to metabolize, starts to grow, and the basis of the movie is me trying to save his life. And he grows to epic proportions and gigantic.
The Rock is the only man in Hollywood that they would make a movie like that with. Because he's the only man that could carry something like that. He carries original IP. He might not just start franchises anymore, but Pain in the Game, The Rundown, Skyscraper, Rampage, The Game Plan, Central Intelligence, Get Smart, San Andreas, Moana. He can carry franchises. Everyone else, he carries new IP. Everyone else has to be a sequel or a reboot of something that's already been established. The Rock is the only guy in Hollywood outside of Christopher Nolan that gets a legitimate chance to make new IP and make it popular.
Did you just bring up Christopher Nolan, sir? Okay, this is the thing. The only ammunition you have against me is freaking Rampage. Rampage.
I named off 9 films, sir.
How many people is talking about Rampage today?
Doesn't matter. Did it make money?
People are still talking about Predator. They're reading Predator comic books, sir, from Dark Horse. They're watching the movies. They're reading the books. Nobody is reading anything about Rampage.
Listen, sir. All the great screenwriters today are writing sequels and reboots for stuff that's already made. He's taking the original crap that all the bad writers are making, and he's making money with them because he's the only one that can do it.
Your ammunition was Rampage, sir. You're losing right now.
Listen, nobody could take Rampage and make money with it other than The Rock. If they put Schwarzenegger on that movie, it would have bombed. If they would have put Mark Wahlberg on that movie,
Schwarzenegger, because Schwarzenegger's 1,000 years old now.
Let me finish, sir. If they put Mark Wahlberg on that movie, it would bomb. If they put Robert Downey Jr. on that movie, it would bomb. If they put Tom Cruise on that movie, it would bomb. If they put Tom Holland on that movie, it would bomb. If they put Tom Hardy on that movie, they would bomb. All the other, supposed action starters in films today would have bombed with that movie. The Rock was able to take chicken shit and make chicken salad and made a little coin off of it. He's the only one that could, sir.
I believe Tom Holland could have did a better job.
You think he would have sold more tickets on Rampage than The Rock?
He did with Venom. He did almost $1 billion with Venom.
Venom is an established character that's a spinoff of Spider-Man, the second most popular comic character in the world.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that one.
Rampage was a video game from the 80s that sucked.
Yeah,
it was fun, but it didn't have,
the movie
like it had a story.
The movie sucked too. The movie sucked.
It did suck, but it made money. I saw it with my wife. She was disappointed as I was.
You're losing, sir. You're losing.
I didn't say he made great movies. I said he's the #1 action star because he makes the most coins, sir. And now I have my final point. And you cannot deny this. There is no denying it because the numbers don't lie.
So, Samoa Joe, you take your 30-30 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning at sacrifice. But then you take my 75% chance of winning if we used to go one-on-one and then add 66 and 2/3%. I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning at sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at sacrifice.
Thank you very much, Scott Steiner, for making my point. But look at this. These are real factual numbers as far as box office receipts go. The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, has been in the top 2 box office earners at the box office from 2015 to 2020. 1 year he wasn't, I believe it was number 19 because he only released a couple movies. Of those years, in 2018 and 2019, he was #1. Let me read off you the top 8 box office earners of the 2019 box office. I want you to tell me if you recognize what the next 7 names have in common. #1, Dwayne Johnson. #2, Samuel L. Jackson. #3, Karen Gillan. #4, Chris Hemsworth. #5, Chris Pratt. #6, Tom Holland. #7, Dave Bautista. And #8, Josh Brolin.
He don't have any competition. That's why he #1.
He outdid Avengers, the best-selling movie of all time, sir. And Samuel L. Jackson isn't everything.
You know how numbers don't mean nothing? Because I'm going to ask you a question right now. At the time, Avatar was the biggest movie that sold in all time. Did you like that movie?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm waiting for the sequels.
That movie sucked, and you know it. You know deep down you didn't like
it. In Dances with Wolves. They
was freaking blue aliens. They were blue Native American aliens, bro.
I like Smurfs too. What do you think?
Like I said, this is my point. Just because the numbers say doesn't mean it was a good film. The Rock has been in movies that are mediocre.
Listen, I didn't say he was the best actor in the world. I said he was the #1 action box office draw in the world.
Okay,
and the numbers don't lie, sir. He's been in the top 2 consistently for 6 years. 2 of those years he's been #1. He's the only person that could outsell Samuel L. Jackson, who was in a $3 billion movie that year.
Samuel L. Jackson is 1,000,000 years old. Do you know Samuel L. Jackson age?
He made $3 billion.
On
you know how
Schwarzenegger.
it is to be in a $3 billion movie?
Arnold Schwarzenegger, 70s. Samuel L. Jackson, 70s. Denzel Washington, 70s. Sylvester Stallone, damn near 100. You cannot compare. He doesn't have competition. That's why he's the #1 guy. Tom Cruise, almost 70. All the greats, he wouldn't be able to hold their jockstrap if it was the 80s and the 90s. Look at what's the Die Hard guy? 70s. These guys are old. That's why The Rock is the #1 star. Those guys I just named are talented. Come out with talented movies and franchise. The Rock sucks. You even admit it. His movies suck. He doesn't have competition.
Say that. I'll never admit that.
But The Rock doesn't have competition. Back when Arnold Schwarzenegger was alive, he had competition. He was going against Stallone. He was going against the guy that came out with the thing. What's his name? Russell. Kurt Russell. These guys come out with classics. Okay?
Chris Pratt, action star. Tom Hardy, action star. Mark Wahlberg, action star.
Mark Wahlberg.
What is he supposed to apologize because the action genre is taking a step back? Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel, bro. He just as bad as The Rock.
The Rock is a billion times better than Vin Diesel.
You know what? Just to admit you
he outsells Charlize Theron.
Vin Diesel, bro. Vin Diesel. That was your argument.
It's part of my argument.
Your argument is weak.
The argument is that he is the best action star in movies today.
I just told you, sir. He has no competition. That's why he's the number one. If I was racing against turtles and I put a shell on my back and painted myself green and we had a race, I will win because it's no competition. Period.
Listen, Fatal J, is Floyd Mayweather Jr. supposed to apologize because he's 51-0 and he didn't fight Sugar Ray Leonard at his peak? You take on who's available at the moment. He has taken on and beaten all comers, and he started WrestleMania while he was doing it twice.
Wrestling is different. Now, I respect The Rock greatly when it comes to to wrestling. He's my number
circle, sir.
He's my number 3 favorite. He's my number 3 favorite wrestler of all time. But when it comes to movies, he's mediocre. Now, when Black Adam come out, I really hope this is the one that persuades me and look at Rock as, hey, this guy is a great actor. He's charismatic in the movies. He's doing a great thing. He's supposed to start a franchise. This will be his first franchise starter, I guarantee you. But you know what is still going to take that is because it's tied to a character that's already established in DC. So that still doesn't really count.
Listen, man, I don't like franchises. It's ruining cinema. It's ruining the art of movies. The Rock is the only one putting himself out there, besides Christopher Nolan, with original IP and original stories. And I say thank you, Rock, for letting people that aren't just making sequels and reboots and giving them an opportunity to be on the big screen, because without you, they would all be going straight to Netflix or Hulu or something.
Yeah, thank us for Rampage.
It was popcorn fun.
Guilty pleasure fun. It wasn't a classic.
Baywatch, baby.
Guilty pleasure fun, not a classic.
What do you all think, the viewers? Did Fatal J win the argument? Did I win the day? My opinion, The Rock is without a shadow of a doubt the greatest action star in modern entertainment today. It is not his fault that Arnold Schwarzenegger is over the hill. It is not his fault that Sylvester Stallone is over the hill. You take on who's available. He's taken on all comers, and he is slaying them, sir. All of them.
I want to thank you for having me on the show because you got destroyed yet again. Thanks so much, Wes.
Listen, I basically ragdolled you on that one. People are going to be laughing at you for a week. But if you want to come back, we'll have another debate. In fact, viewers, what do you want to see us debate next? Put that in the comments section. Maybe that'll be the next debate.
Peace.